what's up guys? Now we're to the point where we've got our triple clamp completely removed from the motorcycle, and we're going to go into the process of removing the bearing races. And I have to say, this is a really cool tool, and for 98% of the machines, this is going to work just great. Like I say, this is my very first time using this piece, and this is also my very first time doing steering head races on a 23 KTM SX350. What I've come into though, as soon as we open it up, I can take a look down here and I can see down, if I look down the steering head, I can see that this tool will not work. And you know, it's tough for MotionPro to anticipate every motorcycle design. It's impossible to do that. But what's happened here is you can see that on the KTM, that the seat land that the race sits on protrudes out beyond the edge of the lower part of the race. And so they've actually molded in some notches from the factory to allow you to use what I was explaining a little bit before, you know, a drift or a punch. I've been using this race punch for years, and this is primarily how I've been removing steering head bearings. And if I apply this, if I install the race punch here, you can see how the special shape allows it to fit into these notches that KTM has provided. And it will be quite simple to get enough of a punch on that to knock that race out.
Because that's the main problem, right, Kenny, is that a lot of times people, they have very little to work with.
In a lot of situations, what will happen is the bearing land will only be slightly more shallow than the bearing race itself, and it's very difficult. It can be very difficult. In fact, a lot of times I have to put this on a grinder and sharpen it and get a sharp edge on the tool so I can just barely grab the edge. In fact, if you look at my tool, you'll see that it really, a lot of times, really just grabs on the very edge and ends up rounding it off. So a lot of times I'll have to sharpen this just so I can...
Show that again with hard focus.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can see that it mostly hits on the very, very edge. And so a lot of times, in fact, I would say 98% of situations, this is a great option. This is going to be a killer tool. For this particular model and year, it's impossible. This will not work because there's literally no lip for it to grab. You're going to have to use a punch on this.